Hey everyone, what's going on? It's Jason here. Today we're going to go over AMC, what happened this week, what do I think is going to happen next week in terms of predictions and things like that. Also, next week we do have Witching Day coming up on Friday, March the 19th. If you haven't, make sure you hit the like button below. Definitely helps out the channel. It helps out this video. Maybe it'll let some more people that don't know about AMC actually learn about AMC as well. If you haven't, make sure you guys hit the sub button below. Remember, we get to 10,000 subs. I'm going to be giving away some free AMC shares to you guys. That's right. We're going to be giving away some free AMC shares. So that's a fun way to help out with AMC. Also, help out the community in whole. If you're wondering what I'm using here, I'm using Webull. There's a link down in the description. If you're going to sign up, put $100 on, you get 2 free stocks. It could be AMC stocks actually as well. You also get these Tier 2 NASDAQs for 3 months for free as well. As you can see, today was actually a pretty great day overall. We finished 8.56% over yesterday's closing. This morning, we started out at $9.85. We kind of worked our way around a little bit. Honestly, today's like pre-market hours. The volume today was pretty low in pre-market, but going into the market, we started at about $10.10. That's really when the volume picked up. Today's volume overall is 110 million so far, with about an hour and a half left in aftermarket hours before the weekend. We quickly rose out of that slump at $10. We rose all the way up, as you can see, all the way up to $11.40. Then we kind of, tamered down a little bit, came down to about 11 bucks. We kind of squandered there a little bit throughout the day. The market as a whole was pretty, was in a lull today, but we did have a lot of growth in the whole market overall the last few days. So, having a little bit of a lull here and there isn't that big of a deal. Doesn't bother much. The main thing was, though, that we did end today at $11.16, which is a great morale booster. And it also helps out with the options, right? We finished in the green in the options today. You got 22,000, almost 23,000 at $11. At 10.5, you had 6,000. At $10, we had 27,000 go through in the green. $9, we almost had 16,000 right there. $8, 16,500, $8, and somewhere down to there. It would have been great to get the 12 bucks today and get that extra 21,000. But hey, it's not the end of the world. We didn't finish above $11, and I'm hoping next week we can build upon this. Now, I do get a lot of people ask me what Witching Day is. Well, right now it's actually called, it used to be called Triple Witching Day, but now it's called Quadruple Witching Day. It's pretty much when like the stock index futures, options, stock options, single stock options, all expire simultaneously. So everything expires, all options get expired all at the same time. What happens is that creates this crazy mess within the market. It's very volatile in these days. Some people actually even stay away from the market. A lot of people have a lot of superstitions with this day. And again, it does usually turn out to be a very volatile day in the market. That right there could be one catalyst that a lot of people are looking for to see, obviously, if AMC was to just roar up on that volatility, which would be great for everybody here, because I think we're all waiting for that big push. And obviously, on Quadruple Witching Day, that could be a good day for that to happen. I also get asked a lot how a share gets shorted, how a stock gets shorted so much. I kind of want to go over this real quick. That way you guys, maybe you can understand it a little bit better. In order to short a stock, you need to borrow it from someone who owns it. So say I would go to speak to your broker, right? And they would lend me your shares. I then proceed to sell them in the market and hope the price drops. Once it does, I buy them back and I return them to your broker. As far as you're concerned, nothing even happened at all. Now, for the broker to lend me those shares, like in every loan in life, they will charge me an interest. The interest rate is called the borrow rate percent. When it comes to the stocks, for a stock that is traded a lot, like AMC, and has a high float, the borrow percentage is very low, like under 1%. Obviously, considering the current low central bank rate environment as well, for reference, a 2% borrow rate is actually considered pretty expensive. So 2% actually for a borrow rate is actually considered expensive in the market. As brokers lend out more and more shares to short, shares available to borrow become less and less. With less shares, the borrow rate percent goes up. Likewise, the higher the volatility of the share's price, and the higher the borrow rate gets. The higher the borrow rate, the more expensive it gets for a short to keep their position open. Because obviously they need the price to move down much more than the rate they are paying to actually make money. The more the price keeps moving against them, and the rates go up, the more difficult it becomes to keep the position until they are forced to close it and they bow back into the shares. But what we're looking at right now, from what I can see, there's some sources that have 15% borrow rate in the market right now. Obviously, if you look at something like, let's pull it up real quick, like something like, let's look at Fintel real quick. Fintel has 4.9 million shares availability to short 3 hours ago, right? This was 3 hours ago. 48 minutes ago, they had a 1.96% short borrow fee rate. People seem to be getting the borrow rate and the borrow fee rate a little bit different. This right here, again, Fintel gets this from different sources, right? So it's not like Fintel is wrong in this end, right? You can take this with a grain of salt at the end of the day if you wanted to as well. This is what Fintel is getting. Now, if you go to over here to iBorrow Desk, you pull it up, you're going to get about the exact same thing. 4.9 million with a 2.0% fee rate. Now, that's not to say that iBorrow Desk or Fintel are wrong. That's just the info they're getting. Again, you can take that with a grain of salt. That's the info they're getting. I've also seen the 15% interest fee as well. Either one could be right. Either one could be wrong. Now, you could look at these things in terms of getting a picture, a mental picture in your head. But remember, these sites aren't always right. They also just get updated from sources, right? So this doesn't mean this is right. You can disagree with it or you could like it. Doesn't matter. I did want to show this real quick as well, though. This is from Seeking Alpha. AMC is set to reopen in LA. Says liquidity is good through March 2022. Shares rise 7.3%. Obviously, today was a big rise as well. With LA County saying that Los Angeles will be rising into the second tier of California's pandemic reopening system, AMC CEO Adam Aron will be able to make good on the pledge that his company's theater will be opening no matter what on March 19th. That's good, right? There's another catalyst on March 19th for California. We also have the Witching Day coming up in the stocks as well on Friday, March 19th. The county's announcement paves the way for the movie theaters to open indoors from 25% capacity so long as the reserved seating groups are seated with at least 6 feet apart of distance from others. It also allows museums, zoos, aquariums to open with 25% indoor capacity, gyms, fitness, yogas, dance studios with 10% capacity. So that's all great news right there. Again, it will take a few days to assemble staff. Obviously, Aron said, promising AMC will be back in business in LA in 1 week. Really great news with them opening up in 1 week. In the company's freshly released 10-K filings, AMC says that given the current assumption, it has sufficient liquidity to operate through March 2022. That'd also be right around time that somebody like Amazon, Netflix, mostly Amazon though, would probably come through and maybe even buy AMC up and would be a pretty good purchase. The assumptions include significant increase in attendance levels starting in Q3 and ultimately reaching 90% of pre-pandemic attendance by Q4. So they're hoping to have everything back up and running 90+% by Q4 this year, and also going into 2022. Now that is all great news for AMC. Hopefully going forward, and hopefully next week we see a really good push with Witching Day coming up on the March 19th. And hopefully just in general next week, we see an overall better, healthier market again. And that right there helps push AMC higher and higher and higher. And I'm hoping next week, maybe we can see, AMC above, $20 again. That'd be awesome. That's my outlook towards AMC this coming week. I'm hoping we see obviously a little bit of volatility come March 19th. And we can push this stock even higher above the $20 mark, which would help out a lot. And again, if we look at options, if you go to March 19th on options as well, there's a lot of options way down here. You almost got 40,000 right now at $40. Like $30, you have 15,000, almost 16,000 right there. You got 12,500 at $25. At $20, you got 20,000. At 16, you got 16,000. At 15, you got 38,000. There's a lot of options right here to work in, and people are very bullish for next week, which is a good thing. That spells to me that people are looking forward to this coming up week, and hopefully overall it'll equate into some great market action and hopefully push AMC's stock price higher and higher. If this is a video you guys like, make sure you guys hit the like button below. If you haven't hit the sub button, make sure you guys hit the sub button. Also, if you guys didn't know, there's a Patreon link down below. If you guys want to get into the Patreon, get into the Discord as well, and talk about all these things. Also, stay up to date on my stocks, on my picks, calls, and things like that. There's a link down in the description. Love to have you guys be a part of Patreon. That's it for this video. I'll see you guys on the next one.